But since you did mention you don't know what to eat, and that's very funny and refreshing, and so many people have eating issues. Could we talk a little more about food?
Sure.
You know, and how spiritual people sometimes think that being a vegetarian is superior to eating meat, whereas a course student knows that all of these forms are part of the dream, all of them. And, you know, there are issues around animal suffering, and the antidote to everything is love. So if you're eating a McDonald's and you feel like those cattle were treated badly, then you could love that hamburger before you pop it in your mouth. What do you have to say about food and your preferences changing and anything about this subject?
Yeah, I was very much into nutrition and diet before the course, very much, like heavily. I was in raw food for about a year. I threw away my stove in my family, just
Threw away the stove, raw food.
very, but that when I first came across the course, I noticed this deep conflict in my mind, because food and nutrition is about the food being the cause of health, and the course is saying the mind is the cause. And I feel like I couldn't do both. I could not watch my diet and at the same time practice a course. I felt that was the point. I had to let one go and be in the other completely, fully. Otherwise, I wasn't honest with myself.
Yes.
So that was the point that I let go of the diet thing, and I wanted to practice the food, the course.
That little sneaky ego. Torture.
Yeah, so that was the course, like just completely wanting to experience that, that's being the only cause and there is no other cause. So
did your eating habits change?
Yeah, from that point I did like open up to be open to everything, meat as well. I was a vegan for a while before the raw food, so I opened up to everything, meat, like completely, milk and everything. And gradually that has changed as well, because it now more becomes what is guided, what comes my way. I don't have the mind energy going out to select, I prefer this food or that is over that. It's more like, wow, the food is given me. Actually, I can't push away enough. Like they're just coming my way, and I would just take whatever that's there, and the mind has no energy invested into what to eat or whether to eat, and it just completely been given.
Well, one way of summing up the Course is the spiritual law that giving is receiving. So when you're living from a feeling that all is given, then
yeah,
what more is there to say? I did have a beautiful teacher once, Dr. Leonard Lasko, and he had been a doctor, and then he was amazed to find out that he could heal by the laying on of hands, and that completely uprooted his whole life, and he switched gears. And I learned from him to love everything. If you have cancer, love the cancer. If you're eating junk food, love the junk food. Just come with an attitude of love, that's all.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
And then on the level of form, what will be, but as we disidentify with the ego, then we no longer believe in death. Death is just a construct of the ego. It's just the ego is dangling the carrot of death to keep us distracted from the fact that we are life. And what is life cannot include death. Simple piece of logic. Unless you fully identify as a person, and then yes, the forms will wither and rot. Yeah. They will. But you're not that.
Yeah, there is only one source of life, and the life is not in objects. It's not really saying that the cow or the chicken, they have life, and the vegetables or grass, they don't have life. So everything, the life comes from one source and there's only one life. So really in that, everything is exactly the same. Everything in the perceptual world is the same. There's no difference.
I remember reading in the Sun magazine, if any of you know that, an article about how plants feel, and they respond to music, and they respond to words. And so if you say, "Oh, I'm going to chop that carrot now," the carrot is, "Yee!" It's screaming. So you can tell a story about anything. You can say, "Oh, the plants want to be picked and eaten," but you could also say, "No, they don't." So when you say everything is the same perceptually, do you mean, am I understanding that you mean that it all comes from the ego story?
It is all illusion. That's why they're all the same. Yes.
Yeah, it's all part of the same illusion, and that's why pleasure is not the same as joy, because pleasure comes and goes. It's short-lived, or it's even long-lived, but it's not constant and it is not permanent. Therefore, it is just the flip side of misery. Or, human health is the flip side of human illness. It's the same thing.